You could say that years ago there was just one platform or one gym who were producing a lot of local fighter shoes, but you're supported now by the likes of Team KF or by Team Rhino and different affiliations around the island, both north and south. Do you see that or mark it as an overall progression of the sport over here, that top level fighters are not just being produced out of one location, and many locations are now producing top level fighters that can fill a Cage Warriors card?
Yeah, I think the development of the sport here has grown. There's more gyms, there's more choices where young kids can go and actually start developing a career, amateur and going into a pro debut stage. But tonight, for me, Team KF, as you've mentioned, and Team Rhino, there's a cycle in the sport where one gym will grab a bunch of young guys come in and they all bring each other up. So you could get a year where you might get, 10 guys join the gym at once. They'll all bring each other up. There could be 17, 18, and before you know it, 2 years down the line, you've got an unbelievable, unstoppable team 2 years down the line in that group that have brought themselves up together. I believe that circle has gone full round now, and you're going to see Team Rhino and Team KF just explode. You saw the performances tonight by the Shelley brothers, obviously one win, and you saw the performances by Adam Darby and James Sheehan. I believe all eyes in this island should be on those two gyms right now because they're just going to explode. They've got that. They seem to have that next generation of young athlete coming through, and they're all going to bring each other up just like that happened 10 years ago.
Graham, obviously last time we spoke, you told us there's going to be 2 shows in Ireland this year. If you can't get a date done in the 3 Arena, could we return to the SSE?
Very, very possible. We have dates already booked for 2023. The repercussions of COVID and the pandemic have had a knock-on effect on arenas across the world. This is not just Ireland. Trying to get a date in an arena when you've got 2 years of cancelled or rescheduled events, all rebooking the dates and having first option of dates, trying to get available dates where we need 2 or 3 days to build the show is a hard task. We've got dates booked into the end of 2023. 2 of them are in Ireland, and we're working on trying to negotiate a date here for the end of the year or around November time, and it could even be a Thursday or Friday night just to make it work to get it to happen.
Absolutely love it. And Graham, one thing I want to touch on was the main event. It was one of the best fights I've ever seen live in person. It was an absolute war. You should seem to share a moment with Rhys McKee as he put the belt on. Can you say what was said? Rhys
and I have been around each other a long time. That was his moment. He made very hard work of it, but then again, it wasn't a case of he made the hard work. Justin made the hard work for him, and anyone could have took that. I believe people at the end of that fight probably should have been speechless for at least 4 to 5 minutes after that fight, because I was. They went at each other like something I've not seen before. I don't think I've seen a fight like that in the UFC. That had me on the edge of my seat. I've been in the sport over 15 years. That had me on the edge of my seat.
Would you consider that better than Dalby versus Houston?
That was not a bloodbath, I'm not going to put either one.
Not putting one down over the other.
I'm not putting one down over the other. All 2 fights, all 4 guys deserve that respect. But that what we just witnessed out there, everybody in that arena, that was just something that will never ever be forgotten. That was an absolute fucking well-matched 50-50 war. Anyone could have taken that.
And then one last question for myself. You've been around the sport for a very long time. You know what people's levels are at. Do you think that was enough for Rhys McKee to get that call back to the UFC?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the UFC right now. There's a lot of calls going on in divisions. The divisions in the UFC are oversubscribed right now. Yes, I do. But that's the UFC decision. It's not our decision. It's a case of who they want and what divisions they need to put guys into. But I would like to think it's enough for Rhys to go back.
Thanks, Graham, and thanks to the Cage Warriors team for putting on a great show.
Graham, with the shows now in America, are you kind of splitting it up now into almost like a European series and a US series, or is there plans to kind of bring fighters between those two, or what's the long-term goals with that?
We're one organisation. There's no US, there's no European series. We've only done 4 shows in the US. We started in August last year. All 4 sold out. That Californian roster is building, and I said from the beginning I'm going to need 4 to 6 shows just to get a roster strong enough that we can mix that roster between Europe. Once that roster is settled, and I believe it will be by the end of this year, we will have crossover, so there'll be the California roster coming over to fight in Europe, and the European roster will be going over to fight in California. We will have a couple of crossovers. We've already got one in London. We've got Kyle Driscoll, who fought the last main event in San Diego, coming here to fight George Hardwick in London on the 20th anniversary show for Cage Warriors, and I think it's July 22nd, same weekend as the UFC. So that crossover's already started.
And for the fighters maybe whose fights were pulled for this event, are those fighters people you're still interested in as a promotion?
100%. You know, we're a fighters promotion. We've said that from the beginning, since 2010. You know, anyone that a fight falls off, we do our absolute best to get them as matched. We overturn every rock we can to get somebody to get them that fight. So the fact that they didn't make the show and there was pull-ups we couldn't replace them, we'll get them on something else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Graham, Adam Darby in the first fight of the night, how proud were you to be able to be the promotion to put on his pro debut? A lot of excitement around it and a great finish.
Yeah, solid. He's a scary prospect. The size of that guy for the division that he's in, there's going to be a lot of hype around him, and so there should be. His performance was spectacular, and that reach that he has for that division is, like I said, it is scary. So it's going to be interesting to see how he develops.
For Rhys, if you had to guess, do you think he'll probably do one more Cage Warriors fight before the UFC sign him, or do you think it'll be straight back for him?
I'm not sure. You know, like I said, it depends on the UFC matchmakers, you know. First time around, probably a little bit rushed. I kind of blame you guys a little bit. Media kind of built him up too fast, too quick. I still believe to this day he probably should have waited a little bit, but the opportunity came. The media was screaming for it. He was screaming for it. He took it. It didn't work out. We've had the conversation. Rhys and I have had long conversations on this. We've had good heart-to-hearts on this, and you know, at the end of the day, it's his decision. I'd like to see him have maybe one, maybe two more, and next time he goes, a stay there. Not be in that rush to go back. I'd like him to see some more development from him. I know every fight is a risk, but I want him to go there and stay there next time.
If you want to tell me you don't have a comment or anything like that, please do, but you've come in for some criticism over the situation with Paddy over in the UFC and kind of the fighter pay and all that stuff when his payment came out. Do you want to sort of respond to some of the critics that have
Of course, not a problem. Everybody goes into the UFC on a standard contract. There's no difference what you're doing. You've got to go and improve yourself. And I can categorically tell you now, that contract's gone. That's gone. He's on fucking big money now.
Are you proud of the work you've done with him? Obviously the deal with Barstool is probably the biggest one you've done as a manager, I'd imagine, and you know, obviously now you say he's got a brand new contract.
It is what it is. I'm happy for him. I'm just happy for him.
All right, thanks folks.
Thank you guys. Take care. Look after yourself. Thank you for coming.